Spots of survival. In the sunburnt savanna, where the grass flows like waves and danger prowls at every turn, a mother cheetah fights not just for herself, but for the tiny lives that depend on her. Impridi a new dawn. The cheetah Sana moved with grace across the dewy grasslands, her slender frame barely brushing the earth. At her heels, 4 fuzzy cubs stumbled and tumbled, their silver mantles shimmering in the early light. Barely 6 weeks old, they were bundles of curiosity and vulnerability. Sana kept them hidden in the tall grass, moving them every few days to avoid predators, lions, hyenas, even eagles. She had no pride, no pack. A lone mother in a land of killers, but her eyes burned with a quiet fire. She would protect them. The hunt. Her belly rumbled. The cubs were growing, and their hunger grew with them. Sana crouched low behind a thicket. In the distance, a young Thompson's gazelle grazing alone. She waited, calculated. Then, an explosion of speed, her paws barely touched the earth. In just seconds, she was upon the gazelle, sinking her teeth into its neck. The kill was swift, but the real race began now. Hyenas had heard. Sana dragged the carcass with desperate strength, calling her cubs with soft chirps. The cubs bounded out and began to feed, their tiny jaws working hungrily. She growled, her lithe body shielding her young. The hyenas crept closer, but then, thunder. Not from the sky, but from hooves. A herd of zebra stormed past, spooked by the scent of blood. Dust rose like smoke. Confused and cautious, the hyenas scattered. Sana seized the moment. She grabbed what was left of the gazelle and vanished into the brush, cubs trailing close behind. Fire and rain weeks passed. One cub fell ill, too weak to move, its cries fading into silence. Sana licked the cub's face, her golden eyes filled with something deeper than sorrow, the cold acceptance of the wild. She could not stay, she must save the others. When the rains came, they brought life and challenge. The savanna turned into a muddy trap, and hunting became harder. But Sana adapted. She stalked reedbucks in the wetlands, ambushed birds near shallow ponds. Not Sana fast, but fast enough to start chasing. One day, they spotted a young impala and began the stalk themselves. Sana watched from the shadows. They charged too soon. The impala bolted, bounding away with ease. The cubs returned panting, tails low. They would try again, they would fail again. But they would learn that was survival. Mri, the wind's daughter. A year later, Sana stood alone atop a termite mound, the golden sunset painting her coat with fire. Her cubs, now nearly full-grown, chased one another in the distance, strong, sleek, alive. She had done it. And as the wind swept across the grass, Sana closed her eyes, listening not for danger but for the future, racing onward like a heartbeat.